In the year 2185, humans discovered the solar system of Aeolus, a distant star system located in the far reaches of the galaxy. It was a unique system with two suns orbiting each other in a perpetual dance, casting their pale blue and orange lights over the four rocky planets that revolved around them. For years, astronomers had marveled at the strange behavior of Aeolus's twin suns. But it wasn't until the launch of the Odyssey Explorer that humanity set foot on the second planet in the system, now known as Nerevos. Nerevos, a world covered in lush blue forests, mountains with violet peaks, and rivers that shimmered with silver light, quickly became humanity's next frontier. Beneath the light of the twin suns, the planet seemed peaceful and untouched, a paradise waiting to be explored. Yet there was something odd, something unnerving about it. As scientists and explorers established the first outposts, they found ruins, remnants of an advanced civilization that had vanished long ago. The structures were seamless, made of an unknown metallic alloy and covered in symbols that no one could decipher. Among the artifacts found were strange, obelisk-like structures embedded deep within the dense blue forests, almost as if they were waiting to be discovered. The obelisks emitted a faint, steady hum, a sound that seemed to vibrate through the bones of the explorers who touched them. Over time, a team of scientists led by Dr. Elias Carter, one of the most brilliant xenobiologists of his time, was tasked with unraveling the mysteries of these ancient artifacts. It wasn't long before Dr. Carter's team made an astonishing discovery: a metallic tablet hidden deep within one of the larger obelisks. The tablet was inscribed with symbols that bore an eerie resemblance to ancient Earth languages. When translated, it revealed a single chilling phrase: the human code. The scientific community was stunned. How could a long-dead alien civilization, millions of light years from Earth, have any knowledge of humanity? Was it a coincidence? A strange convergence of linguistic patterns? Or something far more profound? The tablet ignited a flurry of debate back on Earth, and soon more resources were funneled into the Nerevos expedition. The outposts expanded, and more ruins were unearthed, revealing a maze of underground tunnels that seemed to stretch endlessly beneath the planet's surface. Months later, a breakthrough came when a young linguist named Mira Dalin deciphered another segment of the tablets. This time, it told a story of a species that had once lived under the twin suns, a species that resembled humans in nearly every way. According to the translations, the ancient inhabitants of Nerevos had predicted the arrival of humans down to the very date. But there was no explanation of how they knew, only vague references to genetic patterns and cycles. As more data poured in, Dr. Carter's team began noticing anomalies in their own research. Genetic samples taken from the native plant life showed sequences nearly identical to certain dormant genes found in humans. The implications were staggering, suggesting a biological connection between Earth and Nerevos. Yet Dr. Carter was wary of jumping to conclusions without more evidence. It was around this time that strange things began happening at the research site. One night, while examining some of the older ruins, the team reported seeing figures moving in the shadows. Figures that vanished the moment anyone got close. Equipment malfunctioned, data was lost, and some researchers claimed to hear whispers in the wind, as if the planet itself were speaking to them. A sense of unease settled over the team, but their work continued. Then, during an excavation deeper into the underground tunnels, they found it: a chamber hidden far below the surface, covered in intricate carvings. In its center was a glass-like cylinder suspended in midair without any visible support. Inside the cylinder floated what appeared to be a human figure preserved in some kind of amber fluid. The figure was lifelike, too lifelike, as if it had been waiting there for thousands of years, undisturbed. It looked human, but not exactly. The proportions were off, the eyes slightly larger, and the skin faintly luminescent under the blue glow of the chamber's strange lighting. Dr. Carter's team was paralyzed with shock. The DNA samples confirmed the impossible. The being inside the chamber was human, and yet it wasn't. There were subtle differences in the genetic code, but nothing that could account for the creature's presence on an alien world. It was then that the ancient chamber's walls began to light up, displaying holographic images of stars, planets, and timelines. They watched as images of Earth's history unfolded before them, the rise of humanity, ancient wars, discoveries, and then darkness. The hologram stopped, leaving them with a single symbol on the wall, glowing brightly. The same symbol that had been found on the first tablet, the one representing the human code. It became clear to Dr. Carter that Nerevos was more than just an alien world. It was a mirror, reflecting humanity's own origins, and the chamber's final hologram revealed a secret long buried, a message encoded into human DNA itself. The message, when decoded, spoke of a cycle of rebirth, an ancient experiment that had begun long before Earth had even formed. According to the message, humans were not truly from Earth, but had been guided, evolved, and watched by a force older than any civilization. The beings of Nerevos had called themselves the Erythians, and they were humanity's true ancestors, a race that had transcended their own biology and infused their knowledge into the very fabric of the cosmos, hidden in the genetic code of their descendants. Now, just as the team began to grasp the magnitude of what they had uncovered, the ground beneath them shook. The chamber's lights flickered and the walls began to close in. An alarm echoed through the tunnels, but it was unlike any alarm they had heard before. It was rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. In a panic, they grabbed whatever data they could and fled the collapsing ruins, barely escaping with their lives. Back on the surface, they found their communication systems jammed, and the sky above was different. The twin suns had aligned perfectly, a rare phenomenon that happened once every 1,000 years. It was then that the obelisks, scattered throughout Nerevos, activated, sending beams of light skyward, converging in a dazzling spectacle above them. A low, resonant sound filled the air, as if the entire planet were alive, resonating with some cosmic frequency. Suddenly, the data they had brought back began to decrypt itself, revealing the final truth. The Erythians had seen the fall of their civilization and had encoded their history into the genes of a species they had seeded across the galaxy, waiting for them to evolve, to return, and to understand. Humanity was the continuation of their legacy, the next stage in an experiment that had lasted eons. The light show above faded. The obelisks went silent, and the communication systems came back online. Dr. Carter sent out a single message to Earth, a warning and a revelation. Humanity was not alone, and the cycle was not over. There was a code, a pattern in the stars, and if they looked deep enough, they might find the answers to the universe's greatest mysteries hidden in their own DNA. The transmission ended and the expedition left Nerevos, their mission complete, but their questions unanswered. No one could say what the future held or what humanity's true purpose was. Only that beneath the light of the twin suns, they had glimpsed a truth far beyond anything they had imagined. They had uncovered the human code, but the true meaning of that code and who had written it remained a mystery. And somewhere deep beneath Nerevos, in the ruins they had left behind, the chamber's lights flickered back on. Waiting, watching, for the next visitor who might come seeking the answers hidden beneath the twin suns.